It took the nurse 2 attempts to get it accessed. Hey everyone, guess what? Well, my port was accessed and de-accessed because I don't get to go home with my port, but that's okay. I get to go home today. It took the nurse 2 attempts to get it accessed. My port has kind of moved a little bit. It used to move a lot, and she was able to get the second time. Sometimes, you know, it takes me a couple of tries if it's being obnoxious itself. So now I am waiting on the doctor to put in my orders to go home. I am so happy, you guys. I mean, you know, the staff here has been awesome. I have had some of the greatest hospitalists. You know, I had a really bad experience with the hospitalist back in 2014 when I had the PE and the partial lung collapsing, and I fired him. But I've had some really good hospitalists this time, and you know, I can't say enough about them. They were just really good, very concerned, and you know, when it comes to something about your port goes straight into your heart. And so when it gets really red and inflamed, you really don't want to play around with it, because, you know, it could be something that can kill you. It's something that can make you go sepsis. And with it going straight to your heart, it don't take much. So I'm glad I made the decision I made. Even though everybody said that all my blood work came back normal, I had no bacteria growth on the 4 samples that they did for the bacteria growth, that nothing showed that I had any bacteria. But they kept running the vancomycin anyway. I had a dose at 10 o'clock. No, you can't see it because I'd have to turn my camera around. But anyway, I'm still hooked up to an IV. The nurse that did my IV, she did a very good job. The one thing that we did different that we didn't do with the others, because the others kept blowing, is we put some gauze around it. And I redid it myself last night. And surprisingly, it has stayed good. It's, you know, it's a little sore. I'm not gonna be a little bitch and whine and cry over having an IV in my arm. I look like a heroin addict with my arms, because it looks like I've got track lines all over them. And but I'm not. And so it's just, you know, my veins, and this is the reason why I have to have a port, because I have no vascular access. At one point, I really thought I was just going to have a central line, because I kept blowing ports, and kept blowing veins, and getting blood work from me was extremely hard. And even though, you know, I know some LPNs are really good, I preferred the RN. Excuse me, I've only had 2 RNs, and they were both really great, but there's just some things that when you have a lot of issues like I do, that you prefer the RN. You know, not all RNs are better than LPNs, because there are some LPNs that get you just like that because they've got more experience. But, which makes them be a little bit more wiser and know what they're doing. So anyway, guys, I'm so ready to retire the leg gown from Norton Hospital and wear my clothes or just wear my pajamas, whatever you guys are used to seeing me in. I'm just ready to get back into my regular routine. I mean, I'm up here at the hospital, so, you know, I don't do a whole lot, but, you know, usually when I'm in the hospital, I get out of my room and I'm walking. This time, there's so many people up here with pneumonia, the flu, I mean, you know, and I just, with my low, being immunodeficient, they've not been on me. I get up in my room, I move around, I do things, and so when I did go out, last night, I did wear my mask. I am not trying to get the flu, not trying to get pneumonia, I'm not trying to get anything. And so just wearing my mask was the perfect alternate to being sick. So anyway, I'm just waiting on the doctor to write my discharge order so I can go home. I'm so happy. Hey everybody, so I am so happy to be telling you that I'm breaking out of the hospital tonight. I'm just waiting on my discharge papers. My nurse came in and took my IV out, and I am completely packed up. And she is now working on my discharge papers. I text my husband. I don't know if he is leaving work early or what he's doing. He usually gets off work about 5 o'clock. I text him around 4. So I'm not sure if he's going to be here early or if he's going to be here around 5:45. But either way, I'm going home. This experience has been a very good one. There's been times that I've been in this hospital and it's not been a good experience. Sometimes when you are a chronic illness patient, the last time I was in here, other than my stimulator surgery, I was in here actually 2 years ago. And it wasn't that time. It was in September, I think, of 2015. That time, I was having a bout of gastroparesis. And this is before anybody finally did any extra testing to find out that was what I had. And so I was given my Dilaudid and my Phenergan, and I also had a really, really bad urinary tract infection. And nobody seemed to have thought to look to see what my UA came back as. And so instead of trying to figure out why I was acting the way I was, they made me choose between either my pain medicine or my anti-nausea medicine. And really, they couldn't do that. But come down to it, I asked what my UA was, and I ended up having a really bad urinary tract. And so I was held over for another night. And so then the next time I came in, which was 2 years ago, and I was actually here on my birthday, and I had a better experience. This time, my gastroparesis has just been really, really hitting me hard, and part of that too could be the Crohn's, it could be the anxiety, trying to figure out what's going on, and, you know, just taking it day by day, seeing what's going on. And so now I did another round of ink this morning. My port can be accessed. It's you can push fluids, you get good blood return, and so now I'm going home. The nurses have all been wonderful, each and every one of them. The doctors, the hospitals I've had, all of them been great. I've had 4 different ones, and they have all been wonderful. The cardiologist that has come in to see me, all been wonderful. Some of them were just ones that was just filling in, and then actually a partner, Dr. DeVides, actually came in to see me yesterday. Somebody from Dr. Zorn's office come to see me. So it's just been a really good experience for me. And, you know, like I said, sometimes it's just a hit and miss. And I can honestly say that this was a very good experience. And a lot of times when I have a very good experience, I'll go get something from the gift shop, or I'll send flowers or an edible arrangement, or something for all the staff on the unit. And so I don't have any of my credit cards. I sent those home with my husband, so now I'm just gonna wait until I get home and see what I'm gonna get them, because they worked short the whole time I've been here. And so whenever they came in here, if there was something else I wanted, I'd have them get everything all at once. And before my vancomycin, you know, we would do Benadryl and Phenergan. And then sometimes, you know, I wanted this, they didn't have it, well, then just bring them when you bring those 2 in. And we had a really good schedule going, keeping my nausea at bay. And so, but now I'm just ready for my husband to get here. I got discharged from the hospital. It was like right around 6 o'clock. Shift change is about 6:30, and so now they let you walk out of the hospital if you feel like you can do it. And I was so ready to go. I had a very good experience this time, and I don't know if word got out that I fire hospitalists, but all the hospitalists that I had, I couldn't have been happier to have them. They were all really concerned about sending me home too early. What they put down as my diagnosis was cellulitis of the chest wall, but if I had cellulitis, I would have had a temperature and my white blood count would have been up. So, yeah, I didn't have an infection, so really and truly, we don't know what happened. It could have been a fluke. I could have been, something could have gotten there that I was allergic to. They brought up my tegaderms, if I've changed anything, because, you know, like I said, my white blood count was perfectly normal. The blood work that they do specially for growth for bacteria all came back completely negative even after 4 days. So I'm still not sure exactly what happened. I've seen some videos on here. God, I was in the hospital during 2 very beautiful days. Today it was like 73, 74 out, and yesterday it was in the high 60s, and now tonight we're supposed to have rain, and it'll drop it'll drop the temperature really quick. But it was wonderful for me to have to be in there and pretty much keep my door closed the whole time, because I didn't want whatever else was outside my door in my room. If I went out, it would be after, you know, pretty much everybody was gone. There weren't any visitors, and if there were, there was very few. There wasn't as much staff, and but when I did go, I wore my mask to make sure that I wouldn't get I wouldn't get whatever else was floating around that hospital. And so, but I really did have a really good experience, and so I'm gonna leave it at that. I couldn't have been happier. But happy and scared at the same time. Cardiologists, they come in, I think you're fine, your blood work looks great, and I was really hoping I was going to get home yesterday, but he stalled for one more day and 2 more bags of bank. They were really making sure that, if there was anything, the vancomycin was going to get it. So, yeah, there's not even a way that I could even possibly have a urinary tract infection after all that. And I have diflucan here that I got the last time, December, whenever I had strep throat. The doctor also had me a script for diflucan just in case I got a yeast infection. But I am just so happy to be home. You would not believe. I actually thought that, see, the hospital rules, regulations, whatever you want to call them, have changed. Before, if they accessed your port, if you, at your request and the doctor okays it, you can come home with your port access. I was kind of unsure about myself right now accessing it, because it just still, to me, felt like it was a little bit swollen. I could feel some of the nubs on it, but I couldn't find the third one. And so I was like, you know what, I'm home. All I've got on is my ostomy bag. If it's not leaking, if it's in good shape, I'm just going to take the bag off. I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to take a good shower. And so after I got done with my whole routine, I cleaned, disinfected the area, and set up to do my port. And I haven't been doing this. When I first started accessing my port, I used to climb on top of our bathroom vanity and sit there, so I'm right up on the mirror. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I sit there on the mirror, not on the vanity, looking into the mirror, so I'm really close. And that way, and this is funny because it does not make any sense, but this is how it works. I sit on the vanity so I could be really close to the mirror, and I'd find the nubs. My finger's covering it, so as soon as I get ready to put the needle in its place, I can't see over part of my Huber needle. And so I'm just like going blind anyway into it, and I close my eyes. Don't ask me why. I've just never really looked when I'm putting the needle in my chest. And it's really not painful. And I mean, this is a big needle, and it's not painful at all. So anyway, first try, I got it. Good flush, good blood return. You have no idea how happy I am that I didn't have to stick myself twice. Sometimes I do, and sometimes, you only have so much of an area to work with, and you have to be precise. And sometimes, it's either you are missing, or you have just missed, or the Huber needle
itself is bad. And I've come across a couple of them in the 4 years that I have had my port. And if one of them I looked really close at, and I actually found a defect in the needle itself. So, yeah, I guess my port's got another good 4 years in it. So, they said that, you know, a port that's being used as much as mine, is done really good at lasting 4 years. So, that's good. But, you know, it's even better that, you know, my insurance does not argue about anything with my port. You know, I don't have to have a pre-auth authorization for that. I don't, you know, they still pre-cert it, you know, make sure it's going to get paid, but there's really not a pre-authorization, just a pre-certification. And just like when you're in the hospital every day, they have to give a reason why you're still in the hospital. And so, anyway, so this one, if it's good for another 4 years, I'm proud. I'll be happy with it. And the stimulator, well, it depends on how high they set my settings, and I think the settings go up to 12. So it can last, you know, a few years, or it could just last a year. So we'll see. I did get good news on the stimulator. I got this in the mail while I was in a hospital, and I emailed it over to the benefits coordinator with Ford, and so there was the authorization. I had the authorization number, I have everything, who was contacted, the whole 9 yards. So now I'm just letting benefits mess with it, and because they have their own personal person with Blue Cross Blue Shield that is an insider, so he can get things done and looked at quickly. So, and they've always worked for us. He had to do it because I had the paperwork right in front of me and right in front of him stating, here it is, why aren't you paying for it? And so now I've got it again. So now everything with the stimulator, they should start paying. So anyway, I'm home. They let me loose. So everybody be prepared. I'm back out. So, but anyway, I'm gonna say good night, and I will see you when I wake up tomorrow.